Guys, how you doing? So in this 1 hour, I'm going to be showing you guys a little bit of ActiveCampaign. I'm going to walk you through how to set up ActiveCampaign from scratch. We're going to be doing some forms, some integration. We're going to be doing also some automation. So just keep posted. This video is going to go for a little bit over an hour, but it's going to be a lot of fun. Cool. Hope you enjoy. Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Cool. So then, yeah, just check your email in there.
Okay.
And then we just go try it free. And then you're going to have 7 days as well.
Okay, cool. Okay. Phone number 09 industry. I have a list. Basically, I'm restarting my list because I had a list and it was fairly old and an aged list, so I'm just going to start brand new.
Yeah, yeah. I remember that we spoke about it. Like, it's probably a good idea.
Yeah. Let's see. So I think should I select all of these?
Select the ones that fit your profile. This is more just so they know what you want to do.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I think those are good.
So by the way, by doing that, what they're actually doing is tagging you. So then in the future, they're going to be sending you, emails about things that you want to know and you want to see. So that's already part of the experience.
Okay. And a lot of these tools I have either used in the past or I do use.
Yep. So you can actually skip it for now. Don't worry about that for now. Yeah.
Okay. 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 I'll just add my password here to the account.
Cool. There you go. So what I might do is request remote control, so then I can actually control your mouse as well. So you should have a little pop-up there. Cool.
Let's see. What is?
Alrighty. So, oh, cool. Because you're using a Mac, yeah. I'm the same. We might actually need to restart the session.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. See how it goes.
Okay. Let's see. It might be. Oh, there you go. Right here. Okay. So I think that should do it. Okay. How about now?
I might just need to ask again. Your controller. Okay, that might be working already. Yeah, it is working. All right, cool. So from here, that's the start, right? So you can import your contacts if you have any. So in this case, you told me that you're starting from scratch, so you don't need to import anything. And then it's just going to go through, the steps about the things they need to do. But your account's pretty much ready to go, and you can start using it from now. So what I'm going to do now is just show you a little bit of ActiveCampaign. So I'm just going to go from the bottom to the top and kind of explain you a little bit. Yeah. So we'll start with reports. Reports gonna be the place where you're gonna check, all the automations, the reports itself. So you're gonna have automations for the campaign, automations for the reports for the. Sorry, you're gonna have the reports for the campaign and also for the automation itself. And as I go through, I'm just gonna quickly explain a little bit, just so you get to know the platform a little bit better. So campaign is when you send emails that will be time sensitive. So for example, right now we've got some crisis happening and you want to send some kind of email to let them know about, you know, the coronavirus and all that stuff. So that would be a campaign. Yeah. If you want to send emails that would be evergreen, so in this instance, an email sequence, that would be an automation itself. So as soon as you start sending emails, when you click here, you're going to be able to see the emails, and then you're going to be able to check the open rates and all that stuff. So for now, because it's a brand new account, you won't be able to see anything here, but that's just to let you know. This also comes, this particular, you know, software, like it comes with CRM, so you'll be able to see the deals as well. So all the reports, you know, so there's quite a lot of information that will be assigned there. Depending what sort of integration you have, like if you're integrating with Shopify, things like that, you can actually see the marketing revenue, which is pretty cool. Alrighty, and I'll show you, but some automations, you can actually have goals to the automation. So you would be able to see the goals if they have been achieved and so on. So moving up, we've got the forms. So the forms will be where you're going to be creating, you know, the actual forms where you can use in either your website or you can simply use the form on its own to collect data that will be input for, you know, your, that's where people will be subscribing essentially. It's one of the ways that people can subscribe to the list. So if you go create a form, so let's say for your newsletter, so you can say newsletter, then it's just going to be an inline form. And then here, it's very important to know where you're going to be adding it to. So in this case, you only have the master contacts list. So within ActiveCampaign, you've got a lot of different ways that you can set things up. And it's very interesting, and it really depends how you work and how big you think that, you know, your list will have, will get. So you can have one master list where you have all your contacts there, and then you can tag them. So tag is literally a tag. It's something that you can attach to the contact, and it could be, and we use that a lot for a lot of different cases. So for example, in this case, what we're going to do is add a tag, right? So anyone that subscribed to, you know, to this particular form, they will go to the master list, and we're going to add a tag saying newsletter. So then we're going to know that this person came, you know, from a newsletter. That's what they want. So then when you have your automation that you're going to be sending, you know, campaign emails and all that stuff, you can say you want to send emails to everyone that has got a newsletter tag. So then in this way, you know exactly who you're going to be sending emails to, and you can personalize the experience for the customer itself. Okay. Cool. So in this case, that's all we need to do here. So as I mentioned before, you could, you know, go back to list, get out of here, go back to list, create a new list, and have newsletters. So instead of master contact list, you could have a newsletter. And then, you know, you potentially didn't need to use the newsletter tag. So there are a lot of different ways. There's no right and wrong. There are things that go into consideration when you do that kind of stuff. So let's say you are a pretty big environment, and you know, you're pretty big, like corporation kind of thing, and you're going to have lists for different kind of things. It's a good idea to have a secluded list for the newsletter, and also another one for the master contact list. Because if someone unsubscribes from your newsletter, they will still stay in your master contact list, and you can still send them, you know, email sequences and things like that. So there's a lot of things to consider. There's a lot of strategies that, you know, you need to be aware of. But to start from now, let's just leave it as it is, and just have the master contact list and tag as a newsletter. Okay. So from here, we're going to create, you know, the form itself. So it's just loading the form creator. So as you can see, it already put everything you need there, usually the full name and email. For most of the time for the newsletter, you wouldn't actually have the full name. So most of the time you just have the email itself. So you just have the email there. There are a few things here that you will need to change. And I'm going to go through that real quick. So go to options, and then here, very important. So you can say, thank you. Or if you have a funnel, you can actually, open an URL and just put the thank you page URL here. So then instead of, when they subscribe, when they, click submit, showing a thank you page, as in a thank you message, it would actually take them to your thank you page for your funnel. Yeah.
Okay.
So for now, let's just leave as a thank you, showing a thank you message. And then here, it's very important as well, because if you leave this on, it will actually send the contact an email where they need to confirm that it's their email account. Yeah. This can be really good because it's going to avoid problems in your end. You're going to know that the person has got a legit email. So if you are sharing some kind of lead magnet, you're going to know that the person is actually giving you a valid email address. However, people don't really like, to go back and forth and, go there and, accept the email, and then they're going to receive another email with, the actual email that you need to send to them and all that stuff. So for most of the time, we actually turn this off. So it's good to know what this does and where you can find it. And there are cases that you actually want this on. So once again, it really depends on the strategy. For now, we're just going to leave this off. Cool. Okay. And then the other thing is we already added the tag here. If you forgot to add the tag during, the time that we created the form, you can actually add another action here and add the tag. Cool. I always like to turn this off, because if you leave it on, so let's say they have the email and the name, and they submitted, yeah? And then the name wasn't required field. So if you leave this on and for whatever reason they subscribe again and they just put the email address and they forget to put the name, it will allow the blank fields to be overwritten. So, it will just essentially send a blank, name to the database. So, so I usually just turn this off. And then from here, you can integrate. And there's a lot of different ways that you can integrate. You can, integrate that code directly to your page itself. If you have WordPress, you can download the plugin and use the plugin instead. You can use that on Facebook itself, and you can have like a tab where, people can subscribe, or you can, just use the link itself. So if you copy this link, we can actually just go here. So you can go to this link. You're just going to be able to see the form there. If you type the form, like the name, it will just go directly to your list, and you've got a new subscriber there. Cool. Yep. So for now, we're done with that. So we can just save and exit. Okay. And then we're going to go next. So we're going to go lists. So here is going to be where you have your lists. And then with the lists, you can have, several lists. You can have one list with, a lot of tags. So there's a lot of, different possibilities in there. For now, there's not much to be done here, so I won't be covering that too much. It's just important to know that they are here. Cool. This is the conversations. This is actually something new. This is actually an additional cost to have that. And this is essentially an add-on that you can add to your website, and then you can have conversations with the visitors in your funnel or website. So to be quite honest, I haven't actually used that quite a lot. It can be quite useful, but yeah, it's just something to keep in mind.
Yeah.
Here, you're going to be able to find the CRM. So that's where we're going to be having the deals. So here you can add pipelines. This is pretty cool because there's quite a lot of integration that you can do here. So for example, let's say we're going to have one for your business, right? So let's say, just say new pipeline, so you know what it is as well.
Yeah.
I'm just going to add that. I'm going to have USD. And then it can really change any of those stages. You can add, you know, new stages here. And then the idea here is that, you know, we actually configured for one of our clients for real estate, and that was really cool. So what happened was we had a chat bot, and the chat bot was collecting all the information from Facebook. And the chatbot was collecting the information of people that were either selling, renting, or buying a house. And then there was a whole bunch of questions that would qualify them to know if they were good buyers, or, you know, if they were like hot, cold, or warm. And then from there, we would automatically tag them and put them into the right pipeline. So we would have here, you know, sell, buy, and rent kind of thing. And then inside of that, we had like some fields where, you know, they would be either cold, hot, or warm. And then we had a whole bunch of follow-ups and, you know, things that happen automatically. So the next step, like after this one, is automations. And I'm going to show you a little bit of, you know, the automations itself and create the first automation. But the important thing for you to know is that you can create deals here, and essentially a deal is an opportunity that you have. So let's say you are selling something for a new client. You can either attach a client that you already have in your database, or you can create a new one. You can put the deal value itself, which stage it is. Like in here, you only have 3 for now, you know, but you can really customize everything here, which is super powerful. And you can have automations that will trigger depending of the, you know, what you do. So you can have one that, you know, you can say it's already, let's say, you know, as soon as I move them to contact, you know, it will trigger in contacts, for example, or follow up. It will trigger follow-up sequence, you know. So there's quite a lot of stuff that can be done. In the case of the real estate itself, they would go straight to a particular stage. From there would be an email sequence that would trigger. And then after that, we had a call to action for the person to essentially call the real estate and you know, essentially go to Calendly and book an appointment and, you know, get the appointment done. So we actually integrated Calendly with ActiveCampaign, and we had it in a way that if they booked the call, we would actually know, and then we could just move them to the next stage. If they did not book the call, but, you know, they finished, you know, the email sequence itself, we would start a follow-up process where we would send them SMSs, like to remind them to book the call. If they still didn't do that, we would move them to a different stage where the team of the real estate would actually contact them and follow up and say, hey, you know, you received a few emails, you received a few SMSs, like we saw that you didn't actually book the call. Are you still interested? Do you want to have a chat? You know what I mean? And find out more what's happening. And for some businesses, we understand that it takes a bit of time for them to take action, like the leads itself. So we have, you know, quite a lot of emails in place and automations that will be following them up and kind of asking them to take actions, every now and then. And, you know, with time, we actually know who's engaging, who's not engaging. And, you know, it gets better and better with time.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So next, we're going to go to automations.
Okay.
And in here, that's where the magic really happens. So we're going to create our first automation here. And it's pretty cool that we have the opportunity to create this together because it's brand new, and everybody that creates their account, they should be doing that, right? So I'm going to help you out with this one. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be tracking the engagement. So this is a pre-made recipe. So you don't need to create it. And what this is going to be doing is allow you to essentially track the engagement. So anyone that you send an email to, they're going to be either opening or clicking, or they might not even do anything and just, you know, delete the email without even opening. So we're going to be able to track that. And it's very important to track that because this is going to really allow you to have a pretty good domain reputation. If you have a bad domain reputation, it means that all your emails will be sent to the spam folder. And if the emails are sent to the spam folder, like, people can't actually see it. It's really bad. So by having this set up from the get-go, from the day one, any emails that you send will be tracked. And then after, 6 months, for example, you can actually delete, after you back up, like, everybody that is not engaging. So that will allow you to save money because, with ActiveCampaign, the more contacts you have, the more, you're going to be paying for it. But also it will allow you to make sure your domain reputation is good as well. Cool. So we're going to create the part 1 first. And you see that's super straightforward. I won't go into much details of like what it's doing, but essentially it's just, tagging and, just saying if the person is engaged or disengaged, right? We're going to make this one active, and then we're going to go back to automation and set up part 2.
All right.
So then we're going to go here, create a new automation. And we're going to create part 2. Then in here, the only thing you need to really do is select part 1. And I'll show you shortly. It will actually tell you because it's a pre-made recipe. So let's just get started with the wizard. So it will actually tell you here. So there's one thing that we need to do first. We need to allow the tracking. So enable site tracking. So the site tracking is actually something very important. It's very cool that will allow you to track who went to your website as long as they are a contact and you already sent them an email. So all you need to do is to grab this code here down the bottom and put it on your footer in your actual funnel or WordPress. If you're using WordPress, you can actually install the plugin. There's a plugin for ActiveCampaign, and it will ask you for the details that would be inside of developer, would be your API details, which is going to be here.
Okay.
But,
so can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
So can I use this for multiple websites? What if I have different websites and different, entirely different products and services?
100%. So what I recommend you to use is something called Google Tag Manager.
Okay.
Right. And what Google Tag Manager will help you with is you're going to put the code, all the codes you have. So Google Pixel, the actual ActiveCampaign code, all that stuff in Google Tag Manager. And then Google Tag Manager will give you a code that will be, similar to this one. So then what you do is you have one code that you go and put across all your websites, blogs, funnels. And then if you have any changes or anything you need to do, you don't need to go and change everywhere. You just change the codes or add a new code inside of Google Tag Manager. And it's a fantastic way to essentially make sure that across the board, everything is doing what it's supposed to do. So you don't need to be checking, every single blog, every single funnel to make sure that you've got all the codes in there. And another thing as well that will increase the way the speed essentially that your blogs and funnels will load, because instead of having lots of different codes like ActiveCampaign, Google Pixel, Google Analytics, all that stuff, you're going to have Google Tag Manager, and that's it. And then Google Tag Manager will trigger all the other stuff in the back end. Does it make sense?
Yes. Okay.
Cool. All right. So we're going to enable this. So that's enabled now. So all you need to do now, we're going to do now actually, real quick. So check your email address there. Sorry, your URL.
Okay. This one?
Yep.
Okay.
Without the index.html.
Okay.
But it's fine. We can delete it there. Is that the only domain that you have?
Yeah, that's
be this one.
Yeah. Okay. And then let's see, go back here. Whoops. Let me close this out. And close that one out. Okay. And then just add it here?
Yeah. Okay. That's the only domain you have, yeah?
This is one of them. I have other unrelated to this. But I think for this is good for now, I think.
Okay, cool. So if you have any other domains that you're going to be using the code, you must add them in here. Otherwise, the code won't work, because you need to tell ActiveCampaign which domains you want it to track.
Okay.
Cool. So you can always come back here. To get here, you just go settings, and then you go tracking. Okay.
All right. Okay.
Alrighty, so we're going to go back to the automation. I'm just going to refresh this because he asked me to do the site tracking.
Okay.
And then we're going to get started again with the wizard. Cool. Now we can select the domain that we just entered.
Okay.
I'm going to go next. Okay, so now it's saying select part 1. And then you just go select part 1, apply, next. And then you're going to do that a few different times. Like it will just ask, like there's one more step, I believe.
Okay.
So part 1, it's telling you once again what needs to be done. Apply, done. So then it's pretty much done. There's only one thing that I personally do that will make it even better. So if you go contacts, you can click in any contact. It doesn't matter, just because we're going to be using it just to create a new field. So it doesn't matter which one you use. So we're just going to say last engagement. Oops, I can't type today. Last engagement date. Okay, so then this is going to be date, and we're going to add that.
Okay.
Cool. So you can see here that we just added a new field.
Okay.
And that field is going to be added to all contacts. So you just need to go to any contact and create that. So then we go back to the automation. We click in the plus here. That's how we add things to the automation. And while we're here, I'm just going to quickly show you, if you were to create an email sequence, that's where you would be going. So just send an email. Yeah. You can send a site message. You can send SMS. You can send a notification email for to yourself, like in case, let's say you can configure in a way that if you have a new lead, you send a notification email to yourself. So there's quite a lot of stuff that can be done. There's workflows, so wait, if, else, like split, all that stuff. So today we're going to be going to contacts, and we're going to be update a contact. So we're going to select the one that we just created. All right, so because I created, I need to refresh this page.
Okay.
I'm just going to quickly refresh this page. Just because I'm using multiple tabs. Usually you just do everything like from one tab and then go back and, you know, kind of go from there. So I'm just going to go back there, contact, update a contact. And then we're going to go last engagement date and current time. Cool. And then save. So then what it's going to do, it's going to essentially add the date of the last engagement. So if the person, so I'm just going to make that active, and we're done. So now you should have 2 engagement taggings, automations in there, part 1 and 2. So essentially what it's going to be doing is adding the date of the last engagement. This is really, really helpful because when you go back to, you know, the contacts, you're going to be able to see the last engagement date here. And what it's going to allow you to do is to later down the track, let's say in 6 months from now, you'll be able to come here, do an advanced search, and then you're going to be able to go contact, and then you'll be able to, was the one I created once again. Engagement, let's just type it. So last engagement date. And then you're going to be able to essentially put the date before. So is before, and then you're going to put the dates like, you know, like let's say 6 months from now, it would be today's date kind of thing. And then you can run a search and you're going to see all the people that haven't actually engaged for, you know, the past like 6 months. And then you can back up all your list. So just go and export all your lists, back it up, and then you can essentially unsubscribe. So you can just go select here, oops, or you can just go edit all. And then you can essentially unsubscribe them from old lists, essentially. So then you won't be sending emails to the people that are not reading your emails. And that's going to save you, as I mentioned before, time, because you don't need to waste time with them. It's going to save you money as well. And you won't be damaging your reputation. Cool. Just another thing as well that is good to clarify. Once you set those subscribers to unsubscribers, essentially, or even if they unsubscribe to any list you have, even though you still have them in your lists inside of ActiveCampaign, ActiveCampaign is smart enough to know that because they unsubscribe to your list, they won't be charging you as an active user because they are unsubscribed. So you can still have unsubscribed people in your list, but they won't, like, ActiveCampaign understands that they unsubscribed, so they won't be charging you. Like that particular contact won't count as a number, essentially. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Hope it makes sense. So yeah. Cool. So moving on, we're gonna go to campaigns. So as I mentioned before, campaigns will be where you're going to be sending the emails that you're going to be sending, like it's a one-off email kind of thing, or it's an autoresponder. So if someone responds back to that email, what's going to happen? So I will just show you quickly a few examples in here. So it can be a standard one, it can be an automated, it can be an autoresponder. It could be like based on birthdays, anniversaries, something like that. And it could be split testing, something like that. So there's a few options in here. You will see that depending on the plan that you are on, you won't have like some of those options. Right now you are on a trial. So you'll probably be on the top plan. You're going to have like everything they can potentially have. That's how they do it, and then they just cut back as you like go and choose like which plan you want to. Cool. From here you have your contacts.
Okay.
That's going to be the place where you go to see all your contacts. You can find out, you can essentially go here and add whatever you want in here. I usually add tags because, it's very important to know what sort of tags they have, and you can just see that straight away. If you need to do any searches, you can go here like I showed you before, and you can have the advanced search section as well, where you can essentially do a search from any of those attributes there, including tags. So if you want to search for a particular tag, you can just go here, find tag, and you can say, if the tag exists and, it's like same as newsletter, for example. If anybody has got the newsletter tag, it would appear here. Cool. And then from here, you could just go edit all once again, and you could just, unsubscribe them or add to a list, add a tag, like you can add a different tag, you can remove a tag, update a field. So there's quite a lot of things that you can do inside here. But you got to be careful as well, because every time you go edit all, it's going to edit everyone that, comes in response for the search that you did. Cool. I'm just going to quickly show you some of the stuff that we have in here because it's quite important as well. So don't worry too much about that. They score. Some people use it, some people don't, but it's pretty cool in a way because you can set some rules for these scores, and every business has got like a different rule for their score. But what it allows you to do is to have a score system where you can really tell who is performing and who is not performing. So let's say you sell products in your e-commerce website. You can have that integrated back to ActiveCampaign, and then you can have a score where you monitor if they go to your page. Like, you can say if they go to my page, every time they go to my page, they get 50 points. If they purchase a product, they get 200 points. If they unsubscribe from one of my lists, they lose 400 points. So then you can have a pretty good idea of like how many points each score has. And then you can use that to personalize the message that you're going to be sending to them. So if you know that a particular contact has got like a pretty high score, it means that they are purchasing pretty often. They are a pretty good fan of the business itself, the brand. So you can continue to reward them, like give them vouchers and things like that. On the other hand, if you see that there is some contacts that have like terrible scores, you can either get rid of them or try to run an email sequence to bring them on board and kind of like give them some freebies and get them involved in the campaign that you're doing as well. Cool. So from here, that's where you can manage your tags. That's when you can add like new tags. You can see the tags that you already have. You see that we created the newsletter tag there, but the reason why it's not appearing here yet is because we haven't actually created or subscribed, I would say, any contacts from that form, using that form yet. So as soon as we do, there will be a new tag here called newsletter as well. Cool. The other thing that I wanted to show you real quick is the list cleanup. And it's very good, very powerful, but you need to be very careful as well when you use it because it can literally wipe your entire list. Whatever you do here, there's no backup. It's like whatever you do here is permanent. So the reason why I'm showing you that is because sometimes you will have people giving you fake emails, and if you keep on sending emails to emails that don't exist, they will keep on bouncing back, and that's gonna essentially degrade your domain reputation. So the easiest way to get rid of the bouncing emails is just come in here. This is a manual task, by the way. You can't really automate that as far as I know. So you just go all lists, bounced, and then you say before, whatever the date is, and you can go remove.
Okay.
Because it's a brand new setup, we don't have anything here. Usually every month, depending how big your list is, you're gonna have, you know, a few emails in there, and depending, of course, like where you're getting your leads from and so on. Cool. Yeah. But be very careful, because if you come here and say, yeah, I wanna delete all the active users, boom, like that's a big mistake. So you need to be very careful. I usually tell my clients to let me do it, or if they want to do it themselves, you know, go back to their lists. So I can just go, I'm just going to show real quick. So you can go back to lists, and then from here you can essentially export your list, and that's a way to back up your list and have it, you know, saved in a proper, you know, place. So you would just go inside the list itself, and you can just export it from there.
Okay.
Cool. So you just go export, and then you can just export the list. And usually it's going to be just a spreadsheet or CSV file, something like that. So yeah, and then if you have, like, let's say you are importing new emails, you would import them from here. So let's say you collected some leads from Facebook. You can just go import, and then you've got like 1,000 of like different integrations that you can do. You can import from file, or if you just have a list that, you know, you built, you can literally copy and paste it here. And yeah, and then you can just go from there. So I'm just gonna agree with that for now. But we're not really importing anything as yet. Cool. Okay. So that's a pretty quick rundown. There's quite a lot of stuff that can be done, but that's just to give you a little understanding. This is the dashboard. That's where you're going to be able to see how many contacts you have. If you click here and you go active, you can actually see how many that you can email, because you're going to sometimes have people that unsubscribe. So those numbers could be a little bit fudged, like, because, you know, you're going to be able to see, let's say, 10,000 people. But then if you go active, it's actually going to show you the people, like all the contacts minus the ones that unsubscribed to your list. Cool. From here, you're going to be able to see your campaigns, the templates, and so on. But that's pretty much it. Because you have the Google form, what about we doing the integration, so then we can have the people going to your list, and then we can try that and test as well. Cool.
Okay.
So the first thing you can do is just go to apps and check if the integration can be done natively directly from ActiveCampaign itself.
Okay.
So if you come here, you're going to see a whole bunch of things that can be integrated natively.
Yeah.
So you can just say Google Forms here. Google Form search. Let's see. There you go. So you need to use Zapier for this one. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
For some of them, like Calendly. Do you have Calendly?
I used to a long time ago. I haven't used it recently, but I think I do have an account. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can actually do the integration natively.
Okay.
And what it's going to be doing, it's going to tag all your contacts. So then if you have a new booking or anything like that, it's going to tag every single one of your contacts, which is pretty cool. Because then you can say, if I have a new contact that has got a particular tag, I'm going to send them a particular email sequence, so you can send them to an automation, and it's pretty cool because you can do follow-ups. You can say, hey, I hope you enjoyed our session. You know, if you have any feedback or if you have anything that you were still unsure, please, reply to this email. So it's a pretty good way to follow up and automate things as well. Cool.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So in this case, we're just going to click the link. Do you have a Zapier or Zapier account?
Yeah, I think I do. It's been a while, but I think I do. Let me double check here.
All right. So I'm going to say
yeah.
connect to this one. It's going to ask you to sign in.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, looks like you already have it.
Okay. Cool. Even better.
Yeah. That was easy.
Okay.
Cool. All right. So what we want to do is actually the other way around. So I'm going to go back there. So, all right. So let's go here. Let's create a new one. Then we're going to put Google Forms just right here.
Okay.
So new response in spreadsheet. And go continue. And then it's going to ask you to sign into your Google Forms.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we'll just choose this one here.
Mm-hmm. That's the one that is linked to your website, yeah?
Correct. Yes, this one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Cool. Alrighty. So you're going to go continue. So now we need to check which one it is. Do you remember which one it is?
Wow. I think it might be. I think it was this first one. Let me see. Or maybe it's this one. MV SFDC Project Tracker.
Select the one that you think it is, yeah, because we can actually do a quick test and see which one it is as well.
Yeah, I actually don't even. It doesn't tell you, does it? Like if we go to the actual form, and let's see.
Let's have a look.
I'm gonna take a look here under contact, and then. So let's see, this one. Yeah.
I think if you go Google Forms, like if you go down the bottom and then just click Google Forms.
Okay.
Yeah. Like actually, if you click here, I think.
Oh, okay.
You should be able to hopefully see which one it is. So you might need to log in there. So go to Google Forms.
Okay.
Yeah. Oops.
There. Okay. So it's just called contact mark form.
It's interesting. You got so many there.
Yeah. It's like it connected all my accounts or something.
Yeah. See if you can find it. Yeah.
Okay. Contact mark form. Spreadsheet or worksheet?
Let's try this. You actually need both. Let's have a look here. Just go back there. Which accounts that assigned to?
Yeah.
It's the same one, yeah?
Yeah, that's right.
Cool.
Yeah, this is it.
Yeah. If we go to responses, let's see if we can find the name of the spreadsheet.
Okay. Order form. Okay.
Cool. So
Yeah.
go back there.
Yeah, I think it's the first one.
That's one. Cool. And then go. Cool. Continue. Beauty. Cool. We'll get done. Oops, that's not what I want. I'm gonna go active campaign here.
Okay.
I'm gonna delete these. We don't need that. Alrighty, so here we're going to integrate with, so essentially we're going to say create or add or update the contact. So if they don't exist, they're going to be created. If they already exist, it's going to be updated as well.
Okay.
So we're going to sign in to Active Campaign. So what we need to do here, go back to Active Campaign. And then we're going to collect the information. So I'm going to go to developer. So we're going to copy that. Oops. And these do the same thing as well. Cool. So now Active Campaign is connected, and we can continue.
Okay. Cool.
So then here, you only have one list, so that's the one that we're gonna get. So you just need to match email address with email address. And then first name with first name. It's going to be your first name here. I don't know if you're collecting last name there. Do you remember?
It may have been just one.
Yeah, just one. Cool. So don't need to worry about that. Phone number. We're going to get phone number right there.
Oh, there's a full name above it.
Oh, that's full name. Yeah, cool. I'll change it. Phone number. So let's get rid of that. And then, oops, not this one. And what was it? This one?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Cool. And then this one for the tag, we're gonna say that's your website, yeah?
Yes.
So let's say website. So then down the track, you will know that it came from your website. So then what happens, like down the track, you can actually do a report where you're gonna get all the tags and all the contacts. And then you can see, you know, how many tags you have for, you know, like comparing to how many contacts and all that stuff. So if you have like lots of different blogs and you tagged each one of the blogs, you can actually see which one's performing better. So if you see that your contacts are coming from a particular place, you can actually pump more traffic to that particular place. Cool. So from here, that's all we need. So we're going to go continue. And we're going to go test and review. So that's all done. So we're going to go done editing.
Okay.
And we're going to turn it on.
Okay.
And this is done. Alrighty, so now we're gonna go back to your website, which was here.
Yep.
So then, if you wanna chuck some details in there, it can be, it doesn't need to be like something real. It can be like tests, you know, could be anything.
Okay, so let's see here. Trying to think which one I can use. I think I just use the existing one. Should be fine. I'll just do end of the month here. 16, and we'll do small client here. 9. Oops.
Cool. So what's gonna happen now is it's gonna send all this data to ActiveCampaign. In fact, it's just gonna send the data that we applied. Yeah. So for example, I'm just gonna go back here. I'm just gonna say submitted on the form. So we related the email, the first name, sorry, the full name, the phone number, and we added a tag. Yeah. So let's say you wanted to send all those details, yeah, to ActiveCampaign. What you would do, you would go back to ActiveCampaign. You would create a custom field inside of the context, like I did when I created that automation.
Okay.
And then you would go back to Zapier and then just match. So it'd say time frame would match with time frame, and so on. So then, you know, you would synchronize the data. So you could potentially send all this data, and it would be very interesting to do it if you're using the CRM inside of ActiveCampaign. So then, let's say, you know, are you an existing Salesforce customer? If they say yes, you could, you know, trigger an automation that will send them an email saying, you know, you already know the benefits of Salesforce. Now I'm going to be, you know, telling you the benefits of working with me and what it can do, and, you know, all that stuff. So it's got a lot of stuff that you can do. So let's go back to ActiveCampaign and see if it worked. So let's go back to contacts. And you use the same email address, yeah?
Yes, correct.
So as you can see, now you've got your phone number there.
Okay.
And you've got your first test in there, like, because you use first test as the full name. Yeah. So if we go here and check the tag, we should have the website tag in there. So in the future, let's say, you know, this particular email signs up to the newsletter form. You're going to have another tag here. You're going to have the website, and then you're going to have the newsletter form as well. Yeah. And then with time, you're going to be able to use those tags to run automations, to do a lot of different things. And those tags will also be very important, you know, within the deals, as well, as you can, you know, have triggers inside of the deals to move them, or, you know, start automations and things like that. Cool.
Okay, there's a tag.
There's a tag there, yeah.
Okay.
Cool. So all we need to do now is add the site tracking code to your website. So then you're going to be able to see, you know, which contact went where and all that stuff. So after, what you're going to be able to see is, so let's say you install the code. If you go all activities, site tracking event, you're going to be able to see all the pages that belong to you, that your contacts access. So if they went to you know, your web page, and then they went to your blog, you're going to be able to see all those here, as long as you have the code in the back end, you know, set up properly. Cool. And then from here, you're going to be able to see the emails that you've been that you sent to your contact. Each email for each particular contact, you're going to be able to see the list they are in. If there's any automations, you can either add them here directly, or you can, see where they are. For this one in particular, we haven't actually sent any emails yet, but you will see that there will be tags for engaged, simply because of the automation that we have here. That's what this automation will be doing. We'll be tagging to say if they're engaging, if they're not engaging, and the date that they last engaged with you. Cool.
Yes. Okay. So sending an outbound email, is that basically starting a new campaign, or is that something different?
Yep. Absolutely right. So you would go set a new campaign just here.
Okay.
So if you want to, let's do one now as a test. So I'm just going to go, create a new campaign. Then you can go standard. You need a name for your campaign.
Okay.
So you can just put test campaign. Or
welcome to the newsletter, or I don't know.
There you go. Awesome.
Something like that.
Oops.
To the newsletter list, or
just bear in mind that this is just for your knowledge. Like, they won't actually get that. There will be the subject itself, but we're gonna sort out like inside of the email. I'll show you.
Okay.
Then you go next. So you're gonna select the list that you want to send it to.
Okay.
So you're gonna go next. Now comes the design. So you can choose from one of those designs, or you can, just have as a personal email, for example. A lot of people are just doing it as a personal email, just because, it looks more personalized. Looks like you actually just wrote an email to them. But it really depends, how you acquire your leads and what they expect from you. For now, let's just do personal email. Select this one. Looks like it's frozen. Are you there?
There you go. Hello?
Oh, cool.
Ah, there you are. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's just got frozen for a bit.
Oh, okay.
I think I lost the ability to choose, maybe? I don't know. Oh, there you go. Use this template. Now it's working. You can actually view the templates as well. So here, it's going to ask you to... I think it just lost the connection, and then now it's just doing all sorts of stuff.
Okay. Oh, I'll bring it over. 1 second.
Yeah, cool.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so if you can, I just go back to this one.
On the very right, or?
Just maximize that one again. Yeah, cool. And then see if it works for me again. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Yeah, cool. That's good. So I'm just going to use this template.
Okay.
So now it's going to ask for the subject. So then now that's when you say, welcome to my newsletter.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So then we're going to go continue. So then here, that will be the email itself. So you can change, you can add images, you can add buttons, videos. There's all sorts of stuff that you can do here. So all you need to do is just click and kind of, change whatever you want. As you can see here, there's like first name. So if the person has got the first name in the list, they're going to be able to see their first name in here. Because the form for the newsletter hasn't got the first name, you can actually remove that, or there's a little hack that I'm going to show you real quick as well. If we go to contact, actually it's in forms. Yeah, so if you go in forms, and then you go manage fields. So can you see first name? This is the tag like that, that will, like we will use like to replace. So if you use first name, it will replace with the first name of the person itself. Yeah. However, if the person's first name is not there, it won't show anything. It's just going to be a space. So what you can do is say my friend, for example. So then it will just replace with my friend in case there's no first name. It's just better than having a space in there.
Yeah.
But because your newsletter, you already know that there won't be a first name. It's just better to, get rid of that. So just get rid of that and just say, hey there, for example, you know what I mean? And just go from there. Cool. So then in this case, let's say we finished the email. It's always good to go in this little gear. And what it's going to do is going to do a spam check, and it's going to let you know if there's anything that is critical that, you need to sort out. And it could be, you just had like capital letters, or you just said something in your subject, or even in the body of the email itself that might affect the way, the way that your spam reputation will be checked, kind of thing. So if you have here, make money like, in an hour, like this is the hack, like something like that, anything related to money, or giveaways or something like that, it might be considered as a spam. So then it's always good to check the spam check and see if there's anything there that needs to be changed. Okay. And you can also send an email test from there as well.
Okay.
So we're going to go next. It's a bit slow for me. There you go. So then here you can kind of check the subject. Now it's complaining that it hasn't got an address. So you need to add an address.
Okay.
This is actually very important because some people, they put the real address here, and they don't know that this address is going to appear in the bottom of every email they send out. So it's important to have, an address there, but I wouldn't recommend you to put the address of your house, for example, if you work from home. So it's better to put the address of your business. If not, like an address of a place that, it's safe, that people won't actually chase you, like, something like that.
Okay. I'll just use the website.
Yeah, that's fine.
And then, just do.
Cool, perfect. Alrighty, so now we all done, and you can just move to send now. So you're gonna send the campaign now. Cool. So now if we go back to, so it's sent now. Now, if you go back to the contacts, because we only have one contact there, we can actually see what's happening. It might take a bit of time to process, but hopefully we can get an overview here as well. So there you go. So subscribed to list. The campaign was sent.
Yes.
And we can see that you already opened the email. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. It's on my phone.
Oh, cool. Perfect. And then you can see that you entered the automation engaged. Yeah. So then now we know that the last engagement was today, and should have an engagement tag here, but it doesn't really matter because we know that the last engagement was this, which means that you either opened the email or you clicked on a link inside of the email itself.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
So yeah, so I think I covered like most of the basic stuff. Is there anything else that you would like to know?
I think this is definitely absolutely a great start. I think what I would be interested in, it would be also social media, taking advantage of maybe creating some campaigns for social media, trying to get, creating this list of real leads, and building this list up. So maybe like a goal for this would be, personal goal would be like to have up to 500 names by say June. Maybe it's like mid-June or something, or June 30th. Find 100 to 500 names to add, and that could be various things: Twitter, Facebook, or just newsletter from the direct website, that kind of thing. So now it's just, I think, building up the list.
That's right. Yeah. So you've got ways to do that, automatically. For example, one of the easiest ways, if you use Facebook, you can actually have a chat bot. So
I noticed yours. Yours was pretty good, actually.
Yeah. Did you see mine? So it's pretty cool because you can.
Yeah.
You're just acquiring leads on autopilot essentially.
Yeah.
But yeah, you've seen mine, so it's all good. But that's one of the best ways to do it, because you're acquiring leads on autopilot, and they just go straight to the back of ActiveCampaign. In my case, I can see, the tag. It's just tagged chatbot. I already have automations that, if someone comes from chatbot, what happens, and I've got an email sequence already, and so on. So it's extremely helpful. So in your case, moving forward, what you can do is you can create each contact, and you can add tags. You can say Twitter or Facebook or whatever it is. If you think it's going to be a huge list, you can actually create different lists instead of creating different tags. It's completely up to you, and that's why it's so cool, because it's super versatile and flexible, and you can do whatever you want to do, whatever works for you.
Okay.
So there are a lot of different ways that you can add contacts to your lists. You can do integrations like we did with your website. You can have the form, and you can just share the link for the form like I showed you before. You can have like chatbots. You can manually collect the emails and then add them here. So you just go master contact list, for example, and then you just go import. Just let it load.
Like one thing I should mention is probably LinkedIn might be a really good resource for me.
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
find potential leads. What would you recommend as far as integration with LinkedIn?
I don't know much about LinkedIn integration. I don't really do a lot in there. I do know there are some plugins that will collect emails.
Yeah.
So if you can get those emails added to a spreadsheet, that's enough for you to have an integration back to ActiveCampaign using Zapier.
Okay.
Yeah, so here you can just go copy and paste, and you just need to have like a list like this, just
Okay.
all the emails, and then you go
Okay.
next.
Okay.
And what it's pretty cool as well is that you can, select the tag that you want. So let's say you collected all those emails from LinkedIn. You can
Yeah.
literally just type here LinkedIn, and then
Okay.
all those emails will have LinkedIn as a tag.
Huh?
So then
Okay.
you know where they came from. It's
Yeah.
always important to click here, update contacts while importing. So then if you have new tags, it will actually match the contacts that you already have and kind of update the information rather than creating a new one.
Okay.
Cool.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah. This is
Any
great.
other questions? Anything else I can help you with?
No, I think we covered a lot of great ground today.
Yeah.
So a great start. This is awesome. Thank you very much, Luis. I appreciate
Too
all of this.
easy.
This is
Too
just
easy.
fantastic.
It's my
Yeah.
pleasure. So what I'll do, stop remote control. So I give you access again for your computer. So what I'll do, I will send you this recording to you. And are you okay for me to share this recording in my group as well, so then people can learn
Yes.
from it?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Perfect.
Yes.
Cool. Alrighty. So yeah, we as a team, like at Sales Studios, we help people with email sequences, with automation, with integration. So in the future, if you have anything that you need that that we could help you with, feel free to reach us out, and we go from there.
Okay. Sounds great.
Cool.
This is excellent.
Awesome, mate. You take care. Have a good one.
Thanks, Luis. Appreciate your time.
Catch
Thank you for the training.
My
Awesome work.
pleasure. Have a good one.
You
See
too.
you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it have helped you and cleared some of the doubts that you had before. If you have any questions, feel free to come and have a chat to me. You can hit me via email. You can go to my profile. I'll leave some of my links here. And if you want to book an hour consultation where we can have a chat and I can help you out as well, you're more than welcome to do that. At Sage Studios, we can create an email sequence all done for you. We can help you with automations. So there's quite a lot of stuff that we can do for you to help you with, your email marketing needs. And as you know, it brings quite a great return of investment as well. So if you need anything, come and have a chat to me and I'll be more than happy to help you out. Take care. Have a good one. And thank you so much once again for watching the video. See you guys. Bye-bye.